Okay, here's how we set up the Magic Money Jar system for adults, and this is what we've done with myself and Carol. We still do this kind of stuff today. We're not using jars. The jars represent different bank accounts. So the way this works is all money that's coming into our life comes into what we call our primary account. So that would be any money that you're earning from a salary, any income, anything that is coming into your life, any money that's flowing into your life, it hits this bank account first. This is the primary account. This is the account that you're using to go buy groceries, and the primary debit account when you're going to go buy a smoothie at the store, it's coming out of this account. So that's kind of the primary account. But anytime any money hits the primary account, what we do is we have a series of other bank accounts, and then we've gone to the online banking and we've labeled them different names. So here you're going to see there's a savings account, there is a mortgage account for the mortgage on the house, there's vacations for vacation money, take vacations, there's cars and insurance. So this would be both for car payments and the insurance payments on the cars, and we've used this for any other insurance payments that we have in our lives. Kids and recreation, so that could be kids recreation or just anything the kids need, and recreation including our own recreational activities that we need to pay for. And then a health account for anything to do with our health that we want to spend money on. So when we transitioned to this, I was just using one bank account for my whole life. I was never really good at saving money. What this did is it forced me to allocate money into these different jars. And luckily enough, Carol's really good at doing this kind of stuff. So when we first did it, we looked back at the previous year, I think this was shortly after we got married, and we figured out how much money we were spending in each of these categories. And then what we did is we just figured out the percentage throughout the year that we needed of our total income that would go into each of these buckets. And we use that percentage for every dollar that would come into our primary account. So if we figured out that, I'm just going to use, if this needed to be 10% of all the money that flowed into our life would go into our savings, then anytime money would come here, 10% would automatically be transferred here. And then these other things like vacations might be 3% or something like that. This account might need 8% or something along those lines. We would decide how much we needed for the year in each of these jars or online bank accounts, and any time money comes into here, we would allocate it. And really over the years, it became, once a month or twice a month was when we were doing the big allocations, but we still do this today. Anytime money comes into our lives personally at the personal level and hits this bank account, we will transfer into these other accounts. So when you go to the bank and you ask to open up multiple checking accounts like this, the bank's going to throw up on you. They're going to say, hey, there's all these fees associated with these banks. I didn't care. I was not getting ahead financially, and I didn't think the fees that I was going to incur were going to slow me down any further. I needed a money management technique that was going to force me to get financial freedom. And I can't tell you how useful this has been in our lives, because anytime something would come up for the kids, for example, we would just look into this account and see that the money was there that we can then take and pay for their, hockey or dance or whatever it is that we were doing. So this in our lives has been absolutely essential. We still use it today. And I want to add one other jar to this system, or one other online bank account, and it would be this: taxes. If you ever become self-employed, what I found most people do not do is they do not put enough money away for taxes. So that would be any GST that's coming to you as a self-employed person, or any taxes that you owe. So many times over the years, I see self-employed people spend all the money that they earn, and then after a year or two, if they don't do their taxes on time, they have an absolutely massive tax bill. So the biggest thing I tell most people is, if you're not even going to open any of these other accounts or use any of this other magic money jar formula or system, have a primary account and just open one other account. Open up a taxes account. And anytime you get paid here, you decide how much should go over here. You can start with like 20%. Take 20% of anything that comes here and put it in the taxes jar. Then when your tax bill comes due at the end of the year, at least you have some money. Hopefully after deductions, maybe that'll be all the money that you need, but at least you have some money set aside to tackle the taxes. This can change your life. I've seen it time and time again. So that is the magic money jar technique for adults. You're definitely using online banking and the online banking nickname ability to change all the different checking accounts that you open to have these different names for whatever works for you. Then you get a spreadsheet and you decide the percentages of any money that's coming into your life that will go into these other accounts, and you do the transfers so that you're filling these other accounts through the year as you earn income into the primary account.